the AMC squeeze zone, phony broker data, short squeeze margin calls, and many other topics are covered in today's video. Let's start by looking at this. I won't sell a share to make up for such minuscule percentages. Even if AMC recently dropped a few cents at the start of each trading day, there's a rationale. Thus, when we examine AMC, we are looking at how things have been going over the last few days. And now that we've witnessed an almost 20% gain, we're witnessing this decline. We're not attempting to play these, Short-term plays because you need to be aware of AMC's current situation and the fact that we are in a short squeeze zone, particularly given everything that is going on at the moment. What we discussed with the margin calls coming in from the silver side, we are discussing the Japanese yen carry trade. We are discussing the short sellers and these institutions' EI liquidity issues. You must acknowledge that AMC is currently in a short squeeze zone and that it may only take a few seconds for AMC to begin squeezing when these short sellers clearly can no longer hold as we open up within an hour of the trading day. We continuously encounter suppression for AMC, which is another reason I say this. With an off-exchange volume of 84.57%, AMC was immediately met. As you can see, Darpool's lack of influence over the actual price was the real cause of the majority of the share volume. Now, it should come as no surprise that this is occurring given that AMC, even though we were up 13% that day, there was still a significant amount of dark pool, roughly 67 to 70%. These short sellers were still defeated by us. For Monday, the same was true. When they noticed that AMC's price had increased by 20%, they were alarmed and intensified their manipulation and repression of AMC. Additionally, while discussing the DOE pool, if you compare the DOE pool at the beginning of the day with the DOP at the conclusion of the day, you will usually observe that the DOP pool percentage actually decreases as the day goes on. As a result, it usually starts at 84, drops to 80 or 75, and then settles at 71 or 72. But for AMC, as you can see, we started the day at 84.57, and as the day went on, we saw the volume really kicking in, especially with what's happening with silver right now. The dark pool volume was actually growing as opposed to what often happens, which is declining. Thus, it increases from 84.57% to 87.03%. At this point, 12 million volume shares were being rotated into the dark pool. As you can see, there was a drop from 4.89 to 4.064 NYC. As well, we have discussed this in yesterday's video. Citadel has stated that internalization ought to be prohibited since it lowers stock prices. However, this was before they clearly recognized that they could take advantage of it and control the market to benefit themselves. However, this doesn't change the fact that they said internalization hurts a stock's price. And when you look at AMC, all of these trades are internalized. Even the fact that 12.44 million volumes are being concealed. The fact that we're looking at 87% for AMC says a lot, especially given the current state of the market, which includes, as we've mentioned, Japanese carry trades, silver margin calls, EI liquidity issues, and the fact that AMC was experiencing, a few good days that were pushing these short sellers to a scary place, as well as the fact that we were continuously in a short squeeze zone. These are the explanations behind the actions of the short sellers. And if you want to see why we've stated that we should regard the short interest data with the utmost caution, it's clear. It merely provides us with information on the actions of these short sellers. They continue to add to the billions of synthetics they have produced, but not to the level of every single detail that is occurring. As you can see, the companies that finance FINRA provide it with unverified self-reported data. Essentially, what you need to understand is that etc. acknowledges that it does not verify blue sheet submissions for errors and accepts the information provided by broker-dealers, regardless of its accuracy. Thus, we are discussing FINRA and the SEC and how they gather this unverified data. Therefore, we are unsure of their accuracy. Whether these companies are telling the truth or not is unknown to us. Additionally, we have witnessed a great deal of information being disseminated concerning how these banks were reporting incorrect trades and manipulating the market. Do I think these unconfirmed self-reported statistics are accurate? Are they entirely accurate? No, that's my truthful response. I don't think that companies that have been fined, caught, and exposed for market manipulation are suddenly discovering within themselves that these self-reported data provide true 100% data, because in the end, every time they have been fined, it was because they were caught, not because they confessed. Thus, when we discuss the short interest data on AMC, which we have thoroughly investigated through all of these platforms for all of these brokers through leaks and other sources, you should proceed with extreme caution. These statistics demonstrating billions of synthetics are something we can comprehend and accept. However, the short interest is merely 10%. When a short seller claims to be shorting only 5% of AMC, because now that they have covered, they aren't even shorting AMC. Because of what we know about the past, I don't think it's true. We are aware of the ways in which they conceal and fabricate all of these facts. We now discuss the pricing of silver. First of all, you must realize that AMC still owns about 27 million high raft. Naturally, many people are still discussing the warrants and the fact that AMC sold its shares of IMC, which we have stated is entirely accurate. They would have made more money if they hadn't sold it. However, you must acknowledge that AMC still has a financial stake in HYMC. Therefore, those who claim that AMC lost all of its shares only lost a portion of them. They are still able to earn from IMC, and our investment is almost risk-free. Therefore, those of you who may be complaining about AMC's poor financial management are contradicting themselves. If you are simultaneously complaining about AMC's early profit-taking, you must understand, however, that AMC still has money in this investment, albeit not as much as it once had. This is what we look at now. First, we discussed how AMC is always in a squeeze zone. It's the pressure we've put on short sellers and the various issues that are occurring. This pressure is also being applied by GME. We have already discussed this package in passing, but there is a similarity between it and the Tesla setup. Ryan Cohen would have to raise the GME market valuation to $100 billion due to his compensation. It contrasted Tesla. I think that's important, since it applies to AMC, where the CEO's whole remuneration depends on stock price increases. I think more will be done. I believe this large incentive will help the stock attain that market cap. It now shows that this will happen sooner rather than later, unlike when I believed in it. We saw Ryan Khan tweet that China is a sleeping giant, which might be a significant deal with this incentive. Let's sleep since she transformed the world in the morning. We know Ryan Cohen invested in ticker symbol Barber. Alibaba is saying this might be the turning moment, and we may contemplate a cooperation or merger between Alibaba and GME, given their desire to enter the e-commerce industry, which could be huge. As mentioned, we are monitoring these events. Discuss silver first. Why is this important? Since IMC has APE investors, HYMC still has AMC shareholders. These things benefit us. Short sellers at AMC also short silver. If silver affects them, AMC positions will too. We're looking at how Shanghai silver prices reached a record $105 and are trading at a $13 premium above U.S. spot silver prices, as well as China's growing physical silver scarcity. The U.S. market followed the Chinese silver market when we knew it was rising, which was a great lead indicator over the last few days. Before discussing the gentle reminder regarding silver UBS and GME, UBS is a market maker, clearing member, and carrier of AMC and GME's harmful swaps. The fact that it touched 104 in the Chinese market tells you a lot about what is going right now, especially since the silver price is $93 and the squeezing silver will influence others severely shorted. Stocks like GameStop and AMC, when discussing rising silver prices and Julie's effects, UBS is one example. Given their ELE liquidity issue, ponder what UBS will do if they face even greater financial trouble. Consider the swaps they must cross. Consider their self-defense positions. We examined how rising silver prices influence us in many ways. You may also see how immediately accepted physical deliveries are rising. This rise just implies demand. The price will likely rise further. Thus, this provides another reason for higher silver prices. As you can see, the US stopped buying silver to warn customers of a breakout. This happens when silver becomes limited, like with physical delivery in the Chinese market, how paper prices no longer reflect demand. Suppliers can't hedge fast enough. Inventory depletes. We're focusing on silver prices because of this. I hope you understand how it impacts us, AMC, apes, and short sellers. Then global center banks, led by the Fed, must issue and monetize more debt to meet the US budget deficit from future missing tariffs and to reimburse tariffs. Money supply inflation will likely boost precious metals. More reasons exist to foresee a silver price hike. Silver is important, as I've told you before. Here are all the reasons I think silver prices will climb. Due to the Japanese market, the global collapse is starting.